Aujourd'hui, nous révisons les adjectifs qualificatifs. Today we are revising qualificative adjectives. From the name itself, you know that these adjectives qualify. Qualify means they describe. They describe nouns. Adjectives describe nouns. Qualifying adjectives describe how they look. Why? Because you also have possessive adjectives, demonstrative adjectives, so many different types. So les adjectifs qualificatifs, they qualify or they describe nouns, which is why you have this beautiful Christmas tree, sapin de Noël, bien coloré with a lot of colors. Colors describe a person. Okay, les adjectifs qualificatifs, rappel, revision, rappel. In French, qualifying adjectives describe the noun completely. Completely. What does this mean? They match the noun in gender and in number. In English, you say red books, red book. Alright? In French, you say red for book. You say red for fountain pen, which is feminine. And if the pen is plural, you'll literally say red's books. Is that clear? So the noun changes because of gender. The noun doesn't change because of gender. Yes, it does if it's a person. For example, je suis coiffeuse. I am a hairdresser. Je suis coiffeur. Masculine, I'm a hairdresser. So the noun changes depending if it's a profession or a, but then the adjective matches the noun. So if the noun is feminine, the adjective is feminine. If the noun is masculine, the adjective is masculine. If the noun is singular, the adjective is singular, etc. All right. So in general, each adjective has 4 forms. What are these 4 forms? Masculine, singular and plural, that is 2. Feminine, singular and plural, that's 4. Example, petit, 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 masculine singular, masculine plural, feminine singular, feminine plural. D'accord? Neutral adjectives will have 2 forms. What are neutral adjectives? It is an adjective like dynamique, which can be used for both masculine nouns and feminine nouns. So therefore, it will just have 1 form in the singular and 1 form in the plural. Therefore, you only have 2 forms. All right? Magnifique, magnifique. Dynamique, dynamique. Timide, timide. So when the singular adjective has a feminine form, totally there'll be 4 types. When the singular adjective is neutral and has only 1 form, totally there'll be 2 types. All right? So of course we have rebels, huh? Just like I have in my class, rebels who keep talking. Even in grammar, they are rebels. So let's look at the rules to form the plural form first. And if you remember the rules to form plural nouns, you will have the rules already in your mind to form the plural form of the adjective. They nearly follow the same rule. First one is to the singular adjective add an S. Donc belle becomes belle. Of course, if you want to remember it better, belle becomes belles. Intéressant becomes intéressant. Can you see the S? Sound doesn't make much of a difference. In the written form, yes. So take the singular adjective, add a S. If the adjective ends in U, add an X. Beau, which means handsome, becomes beau. Same sound. Maybe to memorize it, you can say beau and bukes, whatever. But beau, beau, beau ends in U and the plural form has a X. If the adjective ends in AL or AU, replace it with AUX. AU is not a problem because if it ends in U, you add a X, right? But if the word ends in AL, remove the AL and replace it with AUX. National, nationaux. D'accord? And finally, if the singular form ends in S or X, leave it like that, don't change it. If it ends in U, add a X. If it ends in any other letter except S or X, leave it like that. Vieux, which means old, masculine form of old, leave it like that. This is masculine singular, it is masculine plural. D'accord? So there are always exceptions, huh? Since we've done this before in the first and second semester, go back, revise, take out your old course material, revise them, and if you still have problems, we will look at it later. We'll look at it later in this presentation also, don't worry. Now let's look at the rules to form the feminine form. Plural form is easy. Either add s normally. If the word ends in u, add an x. If the word ends in al, change it to aux. If it ends in x or s in the singular form, leave it. Don't change it. Alright? Now let's look at the feminine form. Number 1. Add e. Normal rule. Add a e to the feminine form. For example, jolie becomes jolie. Grande becomes grande. Petit becomes petite. Alright? If the masculine adjective ends in ien or iel, double the n or the l and add a e. For example, indien becomes indienne. Cruel becomes cruelle. Gentil becomes gentil, double le. Alright? Third rule, if the masculine adjective ends in eur or eux, replace it with euse. For example, happy, heureux becomes heureuse. Courageux mean brave, courageux becomes courageuse. D'accord? So learn these rules. Normal rule, just add a e. Next, ien, iem, iel, double the consonant, add a e. EUX, EUR, replace with EUSE. Repeat these rules, repeat these rules, repeat these rules until your brain accepts them. Continue. If the masculine adjective ends in E, leave it, leave it, leave it. Don't change. Dynamique, magnifique, timide are the same. If the adjective ends in IF, change it to IVE, like sportif becomes sportive. I am sportive. Not sportive in the sense like you can do whatever you want to, but I like doing sports. I'm an athlete. Je suis sportive. You're active in class. Vous êtes active because you're girls. Now, if you're passive, like many of you are, you will be passive. Passive, the masculine spelling ends in IF. Alright? So any adjective that ends in IF, change it to IVE. If the adjective ends in ER, add a E and an accent. Can you see that? So légère, which means light, becomes légère. D'accord? So here are some rebels. Quite a few, so I've repeated them for you. First one. Vieux, which we saw means old. And I've got a spelling problem here. There's an I there. And I'm going to remove this. Yeah? So it's V-I-E-I-L. V-I-E-I-L. D'accord? And then you have beau belle. This is the feminine form over here. This is the masculine form and this is the feminine form. And then you have nouveau, nouvelle, followed by nouvelle. So why do you have two masculine forms? Now remember your demonstrative adjectives. You had CE for normal masculine singular words and CET for anything starting with a vowel. Same principle here. Vieux, normal words like an old dog, vieux chien. But a vieil homme, an old man, because H is a vowel. Alright? Beau garçon, it's a beautiful boy. Bel homme, handsome man. D'accord? Nouveau stylo, new pen. Nouvelle encre is all I can think of, but I don't think encre is masculine. So let's go back to man. Nouvelle homme, he's a new man. He had a rebirth, he's a new man. Okay? So if it's a normal masculine word that starts with any letter except a vowel, you will use vieux, beau, nouveau. If the singular masculine noun starts with a vowel, then you use vieille, belle and nouvelle. and make sure you get the spelling of VI right, V-I-E-I-L. These are the feminine adjectives, no change. Whether it's a singular, if it's singular, add these. If it's plural, add an X. D'accord? Now, vieux in the plural form is V-I-U-X. Beau, I add an X. Nouveau, I add an X. I do not make these special vowel cases plural. This is the plural form. V-I-E-U-X, B-E-U-X, and nouveau with an X. The feminine form, just add an S. D'accord? Some more are there. They really no rules. Long becomes long. Frais becomes fresh. How do I remember this? I've been repeating it for a long time, so you have to start repeating now. D'accord? Here are the rebellious forms. Blanc, which means white, is blanche. Fou, which means mad, is folle. Faux, false, you know that. Favori, you know. Doux, soft. It also means sweet. D'accord? Memorize them. Now say special. Say. Say means it is, he is, she is. But say will always be followed by a masculine singular adjective. Why? Why? Because sir is masculine singular. Alright? And that is your subject here. C apostrophe is your subject. So the adjective has to be masculine and singular. So you say La France. France is beautiful, right? But if you want to put say in between to sound very French-like, La France, c'est beau. You cannot say c'est belle. La France, c'est beau. If this thing wasn't there, I've put the cursor there. If that wasn't there, it'll be La France est belle. But because we have ce there, you have to use the masculine singular form. Voilà. La France, c'est une belle place. Why is it belle here? Because now I have a noun. Here I do not have a noun. Everything depends on the ce. Here now I have a noun. So, belle qualifies the noun. Over here, beau qualifies ce. Belle qualifies the noun. D'accord? It's not confusing. Don't start panicking. So, look at the word that is described by the verb. Over here, beau is ce. Over here, belle is place. Go into the word that follows the verb. Right? Ça va? Adjectives also change place. So how do we understand that? Look at the sentences and decide on the rule. I've put all the adjectives in black. Un bon roman, un long roman, c'est intéressant. Un lion indien, il a des cheveux. Cheveux means hair. Il a des cheveux noirs. Michel est un grand garçon. Il a un frère dynamique. Do you remember the rules? If you don't, here they are. Now let's look at them one by one. All adjectives of size come in front of the noun. What is a size? Size means big or small. Size, it comes in front of the noun. Next one, short adjectives. Adjectives come in front of the noun. Where do we have short ones? Here you have short. It's not only size, it's also short. D'accord? Then, all adjectives of shape, they come after the noun. Shape. Shape, we don't have it here, but then remember shape is like circulaire, rectangulaire, ronde, carré, square. Shape means they come after the noun. Next one. Long adjectives come after the noun. Adjectives of color and nationality also come after the noun. So long. You have long here. You have color here. You have nationality here. They all come after the noun. And finally, if the adjective comes after être, don't worry. Why? Because it's coming after the verb, right? So over here, you have say, you have est. Don't worry about whether this should come in front, after. Just leave it as it is after the verb. D'accord? So now let's do some exercises. Mettez au féminin. Mettez au féminin. This is your model. And Gare, sportif, une fille sportive. TIF becomes TIVE. So here you have an exercice facile and une leçon feminine, but then it's the same word because facile is neutral. Next you have bleu. Bleu. Most of your colors change. Auto is bleu with a U. Pain frais. Remember frais was irregular? Pain frais, eau fraîche. So here you have some more exercises. Un manteau. Manteau. Manteau is a coat. Robe is a dress. One is masculine, one is feminine. Blanc, blanche. Tableau, masculine. Lampe, feminine. Ancien, ancienne. So tell me what the spelling problem is here. I've added a T. Don't do that. Alright? Next one. Lit is bed, masculine. Armoire is feminine. Nerf, nerve. Remember the rule, IF. So anything that comes in F, change the F into VE. Finally, roux is somebody with rust or red colored hair. Roux remains the same. Feminine form is rousse. It is a irregular adjective. Now let's do the same thing, but we put the sentences into the plural form. Le plat est légère. Et les assiettes? Assiette is plate. It's feminine. Elles sont aussi très légères. They are also very light. Ce garçon est nerveux et les filles, elles sont aussi nerveuses. Le gâteau est sucré. Les tartes is feminine. Elles sont aussi sucrées. D'accord? Peureux. Peureux means scared. Charlot is a scared person. And his sisters, elles sont aussi peureuses. Fruits et verts. Banane. Elles sont aussi vertes. And finally we come to couteau, which is knife. Sale means dirty, it's neutral. But fourchette is feminine. Plural, I just have to add a S. D'accord? Okay, finally we come to the adjective tout, tout, tout. Now remember, s'accorder means match. So the adjective s'accorder matches on genre means feminine plural, feminine and masculine, and also with number. Genre means gender, nombre means number. So it agrees with the noun it qualifies. It agrees with the noun it describes. And a classical example is the word tout, which means all. So see over here, tout masculine singular, tous masculine plural, tout feminine singular, toutes feminine plural. 4 words for one concept in English. All mean for. Alright? All mean all. Sorry, 4 of them mean all. If the adjective, si l'adjective est placé après le verbe être, ne vous souciez pas. Souciez, don't worry about its place. Le voyage est intéressant because of the verb est. Le voyage intéressant, it'll anyway come after the word because it's long. If you want to say the long interesting voyage, then long will come here because it talks about size and it's also a short adjective. D'accord? La fin. I hope this helps you understand qualifying adjectives better. Don't hesitate to meet me if you have problems. Au revoir.